We're going to be ending the year with some work with statistics and maybe some probability, and we'll start the statistics unit by analyzing data, especially in this video with measures of central tendency, which you probably have heard of before: mean, median, mode. So we're going to start off with the mean, which is the average of the data. If we're given the following test scores: 72, 89, 41, 89, 73, 72, and 91. First of all, n would be the number of data values that you have. So you have 2, 4, 6, 7 data values, so n equals 7. So if we want to find the average or the mean, we're going to take the sum of the scores and divide the sum of the scores by the number of scores, which would be the n value. So the mean in this case is going to be equal to 72 plus 89 plus 41 plus 89 plus 73 plus 72 plus 91, and that entire amount is going to be divided by the 7 scores. The mean is going to be equal to 72 plus 89 plus 41 plus 89 plus 73 plus 72 plus 91. That sum is 527. Divide that by 7 scores. This will tell you the average. The average score on this test was a 75.28. I'll round that up to 0.3 to make it to the nearest tenth. And that would be your average or your mean. And another consideration when you're looking for the average of a data set or the mean is a case where you may have a frequency table. That was finding the mean with a list, but sometimes they give you the data in a frequency table to organize it a little better. And frequency, as we know from our trig unit, is the number of times something happens. For instance, let's say you would have the measurement or the data, and that would be expressed, let's say, by x sub I, and then you're going to have f sub I, which is your frequency. So let's say they gave you the following measurements: 5, and then 12, 13, and 18. These are the data values. 5 occurs with a frequency of 3. That means that there are 3 5s in the data set. So I could really write this as a list. That's probably the best way. Write 3 5s out. And then I have the next measurement is 12, and that's with a frequency of 2. They would tell you the measure and the frequency. So I'm going to write 12 twice. The frequency tells me how many times that data value or that measurement occurs. 13, it's given to have a frequency of 5, so I'm going to write 13 5 times. And then we have 18 with a measurement of 18, but a frequency of 4. 18 is going to be 4 times. If we add up all our frequencies, that term is known as the cumulative frequency. That's when you add up all your frequencies. So that tells you the number of data values. We have 5, 10, 14 data values. So if I want to find the mean of this data set, I'm going to find the sum of all the data values and divide by 14, which was our number of data values. So we could add these up, and another way of doing this would be, the shortcut would be that I know that the measurement 5 occurs 3 times, so I'm going to do 5 times 3. Then I'm going to add that to 12, and I know that occurs with 2, so I'm going to do 12 times 2, and add that up to the next value is a 13, and that occurs 5 times 13 times 5, and add on your final one, which is 18 times 4, since it occurs 4 times. 176 is the mean, divided by 14 values. The average, or the mean, would be 12.57, which is going to be 12.6 when you round it to the nearest tenth. I'm choosing to round all these to the nearest tenth. The instructions would tell you how to round. And that average makes sense because it is within the range of these measurements. If you had a mean or an average of like 126, that would not make sense because that's not in this area of numbers. But 12.6 certainly does lie in that area. Another concept is the median. And this is the middle data value in an order data set. And order data set is really important here. You have to put the data set in order first. So let's have this example 3. So let's say you wanted to find not the mean or the average or the median test score, the middle test score. And we're going to use the same test score values. 72, 89, 41, 89, 73, 72, and 91. We're still dealing with 7 values. And we want to find the median. So first, order your data set. My lowest score first, I'm going to put the 41. My next lowest score would be the 72. And I'm going to write that twice because there are 2 occurrences of 72 on this list. 73 is the next value. It might help you to cross them off as you use them. 89, I'm going to put that twice, that test score happened twice, and then 91. And then just verify that you have 7 scores still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now, once your data set is in order, you can go ahead and find the middle by taking one value from the front and one from the back, etc. Until we get to the middle value. The median here is 73. The middle or the median test score was 73%. And let's say that we're still finding the median. This was 7 data values. So that was an odd number of data values. It's easy to find the median when you have an odd number of data values. But let's talk about if you had like 8 data values. Let's say we added another data value in. Adding another data value in would change it to be an even amount of data. So my test scores are going to be the same, except I'll add another one in to show you how you would do this when you have an even amount of data. The test score is 72, 89, 41, 89, 73, 72, 91. For the purpose of this question, I'm going to add in another data value, and I'm going to make it an 81. So if I want to find the median, I first have to put the data in order. Now my 81 is in here. the purpose of keeping this sort of simple, I just kept the data mainly the same and just added in that extra value to show you what happens with an even number of data. So now if we were to try to take, it's in order, which is important first, take one in the front, the back, front, the back, the front, the back, what you're going to notice is you're going to end up with two values in the middle. So you're going to have to average the two values in the middle of the data set. When I'm still trying to find the median. You might say to yourself, I only average when I have the mean, which is true, but when you have an ordered data set with an even number of data values, you're going to have to average those middle two values. So you're going to have to take the 73, add it to the 81, and then cut that in half since there's two of the values in the middle. 73 plus 81 is going to be 154. Cut that in half. 77 is your median.